The governor has turned in his fiscal realignment plan that is required in order to enact the 1% business builders tax increase and 2% sales tax. The FRP is supposed to identify $30 million in cuts. However, the Office of Finance and Budget's analysis reveals that the FRP is short by $1.5 million. In order to enact the 1% BPT increase and 2% sales tax, the administration was required to submit a financial realignment plan that identified $30 million in cuts. They submitted their plan saying it identified 42 million cuts. However, the Office of Finance and Budget conducted an analysis showing that it was instead short by $1.5 million. How did this happen? Well, the OFB says that because an additional $1.5 million was appropriated to GMH for the remainder of this fiscal year, it increases the overall budget, which means the budget was not reduced by $30 million, but instead reduced by about $28.5 million. Speaker B.J. Cruz wrote a letter to Governor Eddie Calvo pointing this out and asking the governor to, quote, amend your FRP to reflect the net appropriation reduction of $30 million as required by law. The speaker writes that this is necessary, quote, because of the critical nature of this law and the need to ensure its effective date provision is not challenged in the courts.
We would like to work with him, and though we believe we've done the necessary cuts, we want to make sure that there is no wiggle room in terms of any technical issues in regards to the $30 million. Governor Calvo says he has instructed his fiscal team to make a light pro rata cut amongst other agencies to make up for the additional $1.5 million that was given to the hospital. The speaker, he's a former judge, he's a lawyer, and I think he's doing this in terms of goodwill and ensuring that full compliance. We don't want any more complications, period. So $1.5 million spread out over many agencies, we can absorb it. As for the cash flow of GUAM, the governor says while March has been tight, he's looking forward to some better times in April. I do know we're still tight for March. We're going to see an uptick in revenues and cash coming into the government in April, but that's tax time. So with the good news in April, there's going to be a lot more monies coming into the government of Guam. But on the reverse side, it's also a big payout period for such things as tax refunds. So we do believe things will loosen up a little bit in April, but again, there will be still some major payouts that we need to ensure are made so that we can keep up with our obligations. And then, of course, May we hope to see the increased revenues come as a result of the passage of law that allowed for the BPT to go from 4% to 5%. Despite this, the governor says he believes it's wise for GUAM agencies to continue with the lengthy furlough process just in case furloughs are necessary. So understanding how complicated the furloughing process is, I believe it is prudent to continue. And then as we evaluate the situation in the days and weeks ahead, then if necessary to make any course changes, we'll make those course changes.
The administration also says Adelup will continue their voluntary 32-hour work week that started this past pay period.